Okay, so today I want to talk about one of those things that I get asked a lot, which is what are your graphic settings for Valkyrie and why do you set them like that? So I'm just going to go check out my graphic settings. So you get there by going to the settings thing there, the little gear. You press A. And you go look at the little CBS icon down there. The eyeball says graphics. You hit A again. So this is just going to be for the PC. I don't think the console version, PSVR version, has any settings as far as I know. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have PSVR, so I don't know that. But these are settings that I have for my PC, which is currently a Ryzen 1800X with a NVIDIA 1080 Ti video card. So if you've got a different video card CPU setup, you'll probably want slightly different settings, but I'll try to explain as best I can what I've chosen and why. Okay, so usually when you start up the game for the first time, it will have picked a quality preset for you, which has a whole bunch of different advanced settings pre-configured. So those may or may not be right for you. So I'm going to go through the advanced ones and tell you what I've set. Okay, so if you hit that. Okay, so resolution, it doesn't matter for you if you're using VR because it's your headset that matters. This is an important setting, resolution percentage. It says 175%. So what this is it's super sampling. So the video card will actually render everything at 175% size and then shrink it down to 100%, and that way you get more detail in there. If it just started at 100, then everything would look a little blurrier. So I can just swap through these. You probably won't be able to tell too much from this screen. You can tell from gameplay that the quality of the image gets better. So if I hit 100, oh yeah, actually, now that I've got it at 100, I don't know if the screen capture is showing it, but it looks terribly blurry. So I'm going to step it back up to 170, 175. Actually, I think this is what it's supposed to be at 175% MSGAA, which is MSGAA is a multi-sampling texture optimization thing that NVIDIA has created. So you should see that it has gotten sharper when I've selected that. I'm not sure how it got set to regular 175. It's supposed to be 175 MSGAA. So yeah, everything looks sharp there. Okay, so I keep my texture quality at Ultra. If you've got a lesser video card than a 1080 Ti, you might want to play with this. Ultra texture quality is just going to give you more detail on everything around you. Post-processing, I set this on low. I think post-processing creates a lot of different visual effects like fogs and haze and that kind of thing, which add to the atmosphere of the game, but they actually make it harder to see stuff. So I tend to turn that down. So let's see, if I turn this on Ultra, it kind of enhances contrast and things a little bit. I saw that switch. But to me, I find the game performs better when it's set on low. So, you know, if it's a difference between 60 frames per second and 90 frames per second, I'd rather take the 90 frames per second. Okay, so anti-aliasing, it's enabled. Anti-aliasing just sort of smooths out the edges of things. You turn it off, things look a little bit sharper maybe. I just leave it on. Okay, so this is a big one here. Effects, I keep this on low. So the reason I do this is because it really gets rid of a lot of the bloom effects and the light effects that they've added in. Cuts down on the explosions quite a bit. When you have those on high, it actually makes it really difficult to fly around the carrier assault, because you've got all this flak and you've got all these explosions going off. You can't even see where you're going. So turn it on low, and that will help you out quite a bit around the carrier. Okay. I don't know why this is set to ultra, because actually I have previously set this down to off. You know what I think? I think it's because I installed, did the upgrade to the latest version of the NVIDIA crapware software they make you install to update the drivers and stuff. So it goes through and it ruins all your graphics settings. So if you've recently upgraded that NVIDIA software, just make sure you go through and check your Valkyrie settings again, make sure they haven't changed. So I turned shadows off. I don't need shadows. They just end up kind of distracting me, and they also slow down things quite a bit because you're calculating all the shadows for all the structures, every ship, every particle, every obstacle. It's not necessary, and it slows down your rendering. So turn those off. Detail level, I keep that at ultra again, so as many details as possible without slowing things down. Ultra is great. Okay, NVIDIA Volumetric Lighting again. I turned this off. This is sort of the foggy light God rays effect that you get when light comes through sort of air particles, and we don't need that. So turn that off. It actually makes things a lot harder to see when you're flying. Okay, and this is an important setting if you've got an NVIDIA card and NVIDIA VR multi-production. The 10 series cards, they use something called lens match shading, so they, I guess they know what kind of lenses are in your VR headset, and then they kind of optimize the graphics so that they're the sharpest in the places where you're looking through the lens. So that's definitely a good setting to use. If you have like a 9 series NVIDIA card, like a 980, 980 Ti, 970, you'll want to use this one, multi-resolution shading. So you do that because those cards, they don't have lens match shading. So I've got a 10 series card, I'm going to use this one. Okay, so basically those are the settings I use. So we review again. Resolution, don't worry about it if you're using VR. If you're not using VR, then just set it to whatever you want to use for your desktop computer and whatever matches your video card and your CPU. And this has set itself again to 175 without the MSGAA. I'll turn that back on again. Texture quality ultra, post-processing low, anti-aliasing enabled, effects low, shadows off, detail level ultra, NVIDIA volumetric lighting off, and for the 1080 or 10 series cards, lens match shading aggressive, and if you've got a 9 series card, 980, 970, 980 Ti, use this one, multi-resolution shading. Okay, that's it. Hope that helps.